Good Shabbos, good Shabbos. This week's Sedra reminds me of an incident that occurred when I was a young boy. They say that everything that you need to know in life, you already learned in kindergarten. And when I was a young boy in elementary school, we were about to go on a school trip. And the principal came and warned us very sternly so that we had to be on our best behavior, lest we, God forbid, create a Chilul Hashem. Because nobody would say that that little boy misbehaving was a misbehaving little boy. They will judge the entire Jewish people. That is a rather weighty responsibility for a young boy to carry. Nevertheless, this notion of Chilul Hashem, desecrating God's name, is memorialized in this week's Sedra. In a very strange pasuk, the Torah tells us, "V'lo sechalalu Hashem kadshi," you shall not cause a Chilul Hashem, v'nikdashti b'soch b'nei Yisrael, and a Kiddush Hashem will result. This is very strange. Don't do a Chilul Hashem, and in the absence of not doing something terrible, a Kiddush Hashem emerges. That is a very low bar to set. Don't murder, and you will be given the Nobel Peace Prize. Don't do some type of fraud or terrible act of thievery, and you will be declared a saint. The absence of evil does not create a Kiddush Hashem. So what does the pasuk mean here? The Mefarshim struggle with this strange juxtaposition within the pasuk and come up with the following solutions. Rashi suggests that the answer can be understood in that vav in the middle of the pasuk. He says, "V'nikdashti b'soch b'nei Yisrael" does not mean if you don't do Chilul Hashem, a Kiddush Hashem will result. Rather, don't do Chilul Hashem, but instead focus your time and effort and energy and investment and finances and thought and everything. Focus on Kiddush Hashem. And that is a rather sensible approach. And it is good guidelines for the Ribono Shel Olam to offer us. Don't do Chilul Hashem, rather engage in Kiddush Hashem. The Rabbeinu B'chaya, however, offers another solution. And he suggests that these two parts of the pasuk are bound at the hip. The first half being the malady, and the second half being the remedy. Don't engage in Chilul Hashem. Stay far away from that from those terrible activities, from that terrible virus, from that terrible bacteria, from that terrible disease. And if, God forbid, you engage wittingly or unwittingly in Chilul Hashem, v'nikdashti b'soch b'nei Yisrael, then there is some measure of restitution that can be approached by doing Kiddush Hashem. You see, the Gemara tells us that Chilul Hashem is one of the worst averos that a person can do, in that nothing can atone for it other than death itself. And so the Rabbeinu B'chaya says what this pasuk is hinting to us is that if a person, God forbid, engages in Chilul Hashem, there is something called Kiddush Hashem, which can be some measure of atonement and restitution. And that is a grave responsibility and a wonderful opportunity. Last week, the mayor of New York City called out the Jewish community, generally speaking, by name, for individuals who may have been violating social distancing guidelines. And that, all the facts that I just said are subject to great dispute. My point here is not to engage in political analysis of the mayor. If he needs to be held accountable, he should be held accountable. I'm not interested in the mayor, I'm interested in us and the Musar Haskel as it relates to us. See, it is unfair, it is unjust, and it is a fact of life that when one of us falters and when one of us fails, we are all judged for it. And this incident, rightly or wrongly, actually reflects three important points. One, too many of us have flouted the rules. Whether in this case it happened or not is irrelevant. Too many of us have flouted the rules. And when I say too many of us, I mean one too many. Number two, when even one of us acts wrongly, we are all judged as a consequence, just as my elementary school principal told us. And thirdly, just as we carry grave responsibility, and it is a grave weight to carry. We don't have the luxury to be able to say, I'm going to do what I want, and it's all on me. No, it's not all on me. What I do impacts others as well. It's a luxury that is unfairly and unjustly, but as a fact of life, not within our bailiwick. Because when one of us falters, when one of us fails, we are all judged on account. But the Rabbeinu B'chaya says that there is an antidote, or there at least some measure of restitution. Just as we are judged negatively by Chilul Hashem, we are also judged positively as a community for Kiddush Hashem. And we should find more opportunities, as we have already been doing, and as we should continue to do, to create Kiddush Hashem in our lives. We as the Presidium sent out this week an email offering a wonderful opportunity for Kiddush Hashem, to show our gratitude by sending food to the worker, to the staff at Maimonides Medical Center, the people on the front lines of the COVID virus, of the COVID crisis. And that's a tremendous opportunity for Kiddush Hashem. Perhaps a kind word to a neighbor, an offer of assistance, to an employee, to a friend, to somebody, to a coworker, to somebody who may not have expected it otherwise. We have an opportunity to create Kiddush Hashem, as if not entirely as an antidote to Chilul Hashem, some small measure of restitution. I think in conclusion that the answer to our question, these two parts of the pasuk, Chilul Hashem and Kiddush Hashem, are connected by a vav in the middle. And that vav in the middle, the vav in Hebrew is a vav of connection, of connectivity. If we want to avoid Chilul Hashem and proactively create Kiddush Hashem, let's do the vav. Create connections within our families, within our community, within the general community, with our fellow citizens, to focus on the vav, on the connection. And in doing so, no doubt, we will create tremendous Kiddush Hashem. And may HaKadosh Baruch Hu bless us in that endeavor to bring shalom, Klal Yisrael, peace to our community, and good health for us all. Good Shabbos.